Good morning, Jama. How are you?
Good morning, Mike.
It's a rough morning already.
I feel alive.
Do you?
I do, because I really got energized when we had that emergency broadcasting thing this morning at 4. Yep. I told Jeff, turn off your alarm. And he goes, it's your phone. We were both completely out of it.
I know. I was like, what is going on? And then I heard it say what it was, and I was like, oh, well, I don't care. So
I remember having the thought, oh, a child's missing. Okay, I'll look at it when I wake up. I thought because he's not in my bedroom right now, so there's nothing I can do.
Nothing I can do. Not at 4:45. All right. Well, welcome. This is what are we?
Mike and Jama with the Tuesday Talk. Tuesday Talk with Mike and Jama, living in the 321.
Thank you so much, because it is we were woken up at 4:45. Yes. Everybody in Brevard County. So yes. I am a little tired. So. But on today's episode, we're going to start with the 411 and the 321, and this is where Jama is going to come in because she's excited about what's coming. So, Jama.
I am super excited about it. So we have Margaritaville coming, and I know there's a bunch of them all around the country. It's been in the talks here for a while, but Mayor Paul Alfrey has been keeping us updated on his Facebook page. That's the Melbourne mayor. And it's going to be coming just north of the Melbourne Causeway. On the off of US 1 on the river. It's going to be really neat. There's going to be a hotel, like a 7-story hotel. There's going to be a 2-story restaurant. They're going to have 221 boat slips, marina there.
That's awesome.
And they're going to have this giant big grassy lawn area for concerts with a stage.
That'll be bonus.
And a boardwalk, so public boardwalk, so people can come and hang out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, a really cool entertainment venue, and a great marina as well. Because our river is so awesome, and
right.
I don't think there's enough things on the river to pull up in your boat and enjoy stuff.
Right? I know, and this is huge. This is huge for Melbourne. It help our economy, all kinds of stuff.
Well, just really quick, my high school reunion, I'm not going to tell you which one, is coming up in 85. I just told you. Okay, so I'm not going to count the numbers for you. You'll have to do your own math. But anyway, in 2025. And that's where they want to have it.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that's kind of cool.
That's very cool. And when she talks about the Melbourne Causeway, she means 192.
Yes. Yeah, I said the Melbourne Causeway, and Mike's like, is that this one? I'm like, no, this is the O'Galley Causeway. And I don't know the numbers. I do know 192, but I didn't know the O'Galley Boulevard number.
Right.
So for those of you who didn't grow up here.
192. Awesome. All right, so now things to ask yourself. So I got a question. If I was a buyer, maybe I should ask this question. Is a down payment and closing costs all the same thing?
No, that's a really good question. And I do a lot of first-time home buyers. I also do a lot of seniors who haven't bought a home in 40 years, right? And you know, who remembers all the things. Plus, they're very different than it was 40 years ago. So yeah, those are two completely different things.
Two very different
things. Yeah.
Yeah. So because you can put 3% down, you can put 5% down, you can put 20% down, and everything, and then you have your closing costs. And some of your closing costs, that'll include title insurance and your fees that may come from a lender. There's origination fees for some lenders, and we'll talk about that later. And, or your inspection fees, which you might want to save up. It's not necessarily closing costs, but you're going to have to pay an inspector to look at your house, because we'll always recommend an inspector to look at your house.
And survey. For financing, a survey is needed.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of good.
And appraisal fee usually gets tacked onto the closing costs.
Again, if you're financing. Yep.
If you're financing, yes. And it all changes if you're paying cash, because
it's cheaper if you pay cash. Right. Not the purchase price necessarily, but the cost to close. But so there's the down payment. The down payment comes off of your purchase price, right? So you put a deposit down, and then the money that you might have to bring to the table for the rest of your down payment. But your closing costs are outside of that.
Absolutely. So that's something that you might want to ask yourself whenever you're budgeting for a home, which is awesome. All right, so let's move on to the next one. True or not true? True or not true? Is location important in real estate?
Oh, 100%.
Why?
Well, there's a million different reasons why.
A million. Literally a million.
Maybe more.
1,007,000.
No, it's really important. I mean, it depends on who you are, your lifestyle, what you want. Location is, if you have children in school that you want to have in public school, you want to know what school zones are. Those do change a little bit, but for the majority of areas that, you kind of have those the same. But also, like, you also want to know future, what's going on with the land in the future. Like, what's slated? Is there going to be a new high-speed train coming through your neighborhood? Because, you know, progress, we do have that coming. But things like that, you kind of want to be aware of what's going on. You want to know ahead of time. Your realtor should be also aware of these things for you, and you can ask questions, but you can also look things up.
Right, and there's also these areas out there that are planned communities. Like in the Vieira area, you know, they have a 50-year plan. So when they started it off 25 years ago, everything was great, but then it kind of, you know, the plan changed a little bit, and so, but
no, but the key word there is plan.
Yeah, it's a plan.
It's so nice.
Right. And they're doing beautiful work around the interstate there, where they're making restaurants, ponds to walk through. It's going to be great.
It is great.
It is great.
And, you know, when it's not planned is when you have like a main, like, thoroughway, like the Pineda Causeway, that all of a sudden at the end of it, there's a neighborhood. And then you have to build the causeway around it. That would be an example of not planning. So planned is awesome.
Yes.
And they have a great plan. Did you know, just side note, that they don't build an elementary school until they have the kids to go in the elementary school?
I would believe that.
I know. I found it weird.
I would believe that.
Just because, you know, you get overcrowding and then you do.
Right.
But do you know, I have not ever seen a junior high be built. I've only seen elementary schools and high schools. I don't know what happens to the junior high age.
Well, you know, they're building a new middle school in Vieira.
Then that would be the first one.
Yes.
In at least 30 years. I can't remember the last time.
Since you lived here.
Well, yeah.
That's crazy. But there is a new middle school going to Vieira.
I don't know where those children go.
Awesome. Well, good. So our next is motivational.
Yep. What you got?
Motivational morning. So, you know, I was going through last night. I was like, who is a motivational guy that I kind of like? Well, I like Tom Cruise. And so I have one from Tom Cruise. And I really like what he said. I went through a bunch of his quotes. And I didn't like
Show
all
Me
of
the
them.
Money? Not that one?
Nah,
that wasn't his.
That
was his movie.
Right.
That was the other guy. Sorry.
Right. But him as a person,
not as a character.
Not as a character. So, you know, because he's a good actor. I like him as an actor. But one of the things that he says, every problem is an opportunity in disguise. And I think that's great. I think it's great in your personal life. I think it's great in real estate and what you do. I think it's great for your kids to understand and help you grow. So that is your morning motivation. And so that wraps up today's Tuesday Talk with Mike and Jama.
Living in the 321. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Have a great day.